3 knocks woke me at 3 a.m. in my RV. Slow, deliberate. When I looked through the peephole, I saw myself standing outside in my pajamas, mouthing the words, "Don't open the door." Then I looked out the window. There were dozens of me, all surrounding my RV, all pointing toward the woods. That was 2 weeks ago. I haven't slept since. My name is Jessica, and I've been solo RV camping for 3 years. I quit my corporate job in Denver, bought a used Winnebago, and hit the road. Best decision I ever made, or at least that's what I thought until that night in Wyoming. I'd found this campsite on a free camping app. Remote, beautiful, Shoshone National Forest, about 40 miles from the nearest town. The reviews said it was peaceful, private, perfect for solo travelers. No hookups, no facilities, just pure wilderness camping. I pulled in around 6 p.m. on a Tuesday in late September. The aspens were turning gold, the air was crisp, and I had the entire area to myself. No other campers, no RVs, just me, the trees, and the sound of a creek babbling somewhere in the distance. I set up my camp chairs, made dinner on my propane stove, and watched the sunset. It was perfect. Exactly why I'd started this lifestyle. I turned in around 10 p.m. I'm usually a good sleeper on the road. The gentle rocking of the RV, the sounds of nature, it all puts me right out. But that night felt different. The silence was too complete. No animal sounds, no wind, just absolute crushing quiet. I remember lying there in my bed at the back of the RV, staring at the ceiling, feeling uneasy, but not knowing why. My phone had no service, normal for remote camping. My solar battery was fully charged. Everything was secure. There was no logical reason to feel anxious. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. Around midnight, I finally drifted off. And at exactly 3 a.m., I woke to 3 knocks on my RV door. Knock, knock, knock. Slow, measured, intentional. My heart jumped into my throat. I lay there, frozen, listening. Silence. Then, 30 seconds later, 3 more knocks. Same rhythm, same intensity. Knock, knock, knock. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand, still no service. My nearest neighbor was 40 miles away. I was completely alone out here, or at least I should have been. "Hello?" I called out, my voice shaking. "Who's there?" No response. Just that oppressive silence pressing in from all sides. I climbed out of bed, my legs trembling, and crept toward the front of the RV. I'd installed a peephole in my door specifically for situations like this. Solo female camper. You can't be too careful. I pressed my eye to the peephole and looked outside. What I saw made my blood turn to ice. Standing directly in front of my door, illuminated by my exterior light, was me. Not someone who looked like me, not a stranger in similar clothes. Me, Jessica, exact same face, same auburn hair, same build, wearing the exact same purple pajamas I was wearing right now. But here's what made it impossible. She was looking directly at the peephole, looking at me, looking at her, and she was slowly shaking her head. Then she mouthed words. I could read her lips clearly. "Don't open the door." I stumbled backward, gasping. This wasn't possible. This wasn't real. I was hallucinating. Maybe carbon monoxide poisoning? But my detector wasn't going off. I looked through the peephole again. She was still there, still staring, still mouthing those words. Don't open the door." Then she did something that made my stomach drop. She raised her right hand and pointed to her left, pointing away from the door, pointing toward the side window of my RV. Every instinct screamed at me not to look, to stay away from that window, to hide in the bathroom and wait for daylight. But I had to know. I moved slowly toward the side window, the one that looked out over the clearing where I'd parked. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely grip the curtain. I pulled it back just an inch. And that's when I saw them. There were dozens of me standing in the clearing, all wearing the same purple pajamas, all with the same face, some closer, some farther away. They formed a loose circle around my RV, all standing perfectly still, and every single one of them was pointing toward the woods. I dropped the curtain and backed away from the window, my breath coming in short, panicked gasps. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. I ran back to the peephole. The version of me at the door was still there, still shaking her head. But now she looked terrified. Her eyes were wide, tears streaming down her face. She was mouthing something different now. "Run, please, run." Then she turned her head sharply, looking toward the woods. Her expression shifted from terror to something worse. Resignation. Acceptance. She looked back at the peephole one last time and mouthed, "I'm sorry." Then she walked away from the door, heading toward the woods with the same slow, deliberate pace. I watched through the side window as all the other versions of me began moving too, all walking in the same direction, all heading into the dark forest. Within 30 seconds, they were all gone. The clearing was empty, silent. I stood there shaking, trying to process what I'd just seen. Every rational part of my brain was screaming that it was impossible. Hallucination, dream, mental breakdown, anything but real. But then I heard it. From deep in the woods, a sound. Voices, multiple voices, all speaking in unison, all with my voice. "Jessica, come find us. Come see what we found." The voices were getting louder, closer, like they were walking back toward my RV. That's when I made my decision. I didn't care if it was real or not. I didn't care if I was losing my mind. I was getting the hell out of there. I jumped into the driver's seat, hands fumbling with my keys. Started the engine. Thank God it turned over on the first try. Threw it into drive and punched the gas. My RV lurched forward, bouncing over the rough terrain as I navigated back toward the dirt road. I didn't bother unhooking my camp chairs or securing anything in the back. I just drove. In my rearview mirror, I could see them emerging from the tree line. Dozens of me, all walking in perfect synchronization, all moving toward where my RV had been parked. I hit the main road doing 40 miles an hour, way too fast for the conditions, but I didn't care. I drove for 2 hours straight, not stopping, until I reached a 24-hour gas station on the outskirts of Cody. I kept digging, found 2 more, both named Jessica, both solo female RV campers. Both disappeared from that same area over the past decade. Different years, but always in late September. Always the same campsite. The police reports all said the same thing. No signs of struggle, no evidence of foul play, no tracks leading away from the vehicles. The women simply vanished. I reported what happened to me, drove to the local sheriff's office, told them everything. The deputy listened politely, took notes, but I could see the skepticism in his eyes. He asked if I'd been drinking, if I had a history of mental illness, if I was on any medications. "Ma'am, I've worked this area for 15 years, he said. "That campsite is perfectly safe. Probably just saw some wildlife, got spooked. The mind plays tricks when you're alone in the wilderness." But then he said something that made my blood run cold. Though I'll admit, we do get reports every few years. Always women camping alone. Always claim they saw duplicates of themselves. We figure it's the isolation. Makes people see things. I sat in that parking lot under the fluorescent lights, surrounded by other people, and tried to convince myself I'd imagined the whole thing. Stress, isolation, maybe I'd been sleepwalking, maybe I'd dreamed it all. But when I finally worked up the courage to step outside my RV to check for damage from my frantic escape, I found something that proved it had been real. Pressed against my door, right where that first version of me had been standing, was a handprint. A perfect handprint in the condensation on the metal. And underneath it, written in the same condensation, were words. "We tried to warn you." I took a picture of it with my phone before it evaporated. I still have that picture. I look at it sometimes when I start to doubt myself. But here's the thing that really keeps me up at night. 2 days after I fled that campsite, I was scrolling through a missing persons database. Don't ask me why, maybe I was looking for answers. And I found something, a woman named Jessica. Different last name, but same first name. Same age as me, same auburn hair. She'd gone missing 3 years ago while solo RV camping in Shoshone National Forest. The last known location? The exact campsite where I'd stayed. They found her RV abandoned, door wide open, camp chairs still set up. Her phone was inside, battery dead. Her wallet, keys, everything still there. But she was gone. "How many reports?" I asked. He checked his computer. 6 in the last 12 years. 3 of those women were never seen again after filing the report. I left that office and never went back to Wyoming. But here's what haunts me most. A week after I got home, I received a package. No return address. Inside was a Polaroid photograph. The photo showed my RV parked at that campsite, taken from the woods. And in the foreground, barely visible in the shadows, were figures. Dozens of them, all wearing purple pajamas. On the back of the photo, written in handwriting that looked disturbingly like mine, was a message. "You were supposed to join us. We're still waiting. We'll always be waiting." The Jessicas. I sold my RV 3 days later, moved into an apartment in the city, surrounded myself with people, noise, light. I haven't been camping since. But sometimes, late at night, when I can't sleep, I'll look out my apartment window, and I swear I see her. Me. Standing on the street corner below, wearing purple pajamas, looking up at my window. She never moves, never waves, just stands there, watching, waiting. And the worst part? Last week, I met another solo female camper at a coffee shop. Her name was Jessica. She had auburn hair. She was planning a trip to Wyoming. I tried to warn her, told her my whole story, showed her the photograph, begged her not to go to Shoshone National Forest. She smiled politely and said, "Thanks for the concern, but I'll be fine. I've been camping alone for years. I know how to handle myself." That was 5 days ago. I just checked the news. Another solo female camper has gone missing in Shoshone National Forest. Name, Jessica. Auburn hair. Age 32. Last seen at a remote campsite off Highway 120. They found her RV this morning, door wide open, purple pajamas folded neatly on the driver's seat, and written in condensation on the windshield, "She finally came home." I don't know what's in those woods. I don't know why it calls to women named Jessica. I don't know if those versions of me were trying to save me or lure me in. But I know one thing for certain. If you're a woman named Jessica and you like to camp alone, stay away from Shoshone National Forest. Because they're waiting for you. They're always waiting, and once you hear that knock at 3 a.m., it's already too late. Thanks for watching. I hope you consider subscribing for weekly videos.